Okay, welcome back. Part 2 of the career mode series here at F1 2019. We're here for the Bahrain Grand Prix and we've got some messages here. We've got just a weekend preview. As you can see, department failures. So the engine which we tried to upgrade last time has failed. The general maintenance has been completed. So yeah, that's really not ideal. Everything is clear for the race and the qualifying, but yeah, it's not ideal. So we might as well quickly, try and develop this again. Only cost 250, but still 250 more than it would have done if it didn't fail. So it's kind of annoying, but it's fine for now. And yeah, jump right into practice. Alright, it's just coming to the end of the track acclimatization here, so go through the final corner, nice and easy, activate the DRS, and yeah, we've now just got to do the race strategy program. Now it's coming towards the end of my final lap here in the race strategy. Here we got them all done nice and easy. I did do the qualifying pace, but I'm not going to show them in this video. But yeah, I have done that as well, and I think now it is time to head right on to qualifying. I will see you there. Right, so here we are then, Q1. Here we're just going to pretty much go out straight away, just checking everything is right with the tyres. Quickly put the fuel down a little bit, don't need too much fuel. And to be honest, I think we're ready to go out, so let's go out for our first lap in this qualifying session. Here we go then, down the long back straight here, or the main straight, the start-finish straight should I say, into the heavy braking zone of turn 1. Then this is the first full lap you're actually going to get to see me do. A little bit early on the brakes, so I could have been a bit more aggressive, but it's only Q1, this car should be fine to get comfortably through. And activate the DRS down here, coming up towards turn 4, I can't seem to speak. And now the power down a little bit wide through there, it was okay. Tricky little section here coming up, going down the hill, ran a little bit wide, but it's okay, got a recovery, bouncing around on the curb. Here, very tricky through there, and then you have to be careful on the brakes down the hill, and then very easy to mess this corner up down the hill, turn 10. I actually went very early on the brakes through here, but to be fair, it probably did me a favour because I got a nice exit, and now down the third DRS straight here, coming up to fairly quick left-hander here. Went a little bit wide into it, but wasn't too bad in the end. And now coming up to here, we have to make sure we don't hit that curb. It is going to spin you around instantly. Here we've okay though, took it nicely, then nice little braking zone. We're just checking the temps because it doesn't feel amazing, this car, but it was okay. Went very wide into the final corner, but I don't mind taking a wide line through there a lot of the time. And now crossing the line, I didn't feel like my best lap, but as we do cross the line, it's a 1:29.3, which is good enough for second. But I think I was the second person to actually set a lap time, so I'm not surprised there. Albon now going ahead of us. Seemed okay, but I definitely felt like there was a lot of time for me to get. But anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so at the end of the session, we actually 10th with that lap time of a 1:19.3, decent, and I'll see you in Q2. Alright, so about to go on my out lap here in the start of Q2. Got the fresh tyres on, and remember I did say last time, the tyres that you set your fastest lap on in Q2 you have to start the race on, so I had to save them up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, we just need to get a nice little out lap here and prepare for the lap, and we should be absolutely fine, I think, if the first session's anything to go by, because I feel like there was a lot of time I could have gained there, and I was in the top 10 with that first lap, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, here we go then, opening DRS to start my first flying lap in Q2, hopefully my only flying lap, if all goes to plan here. Braking nicely into the first corner, going a little bit deep, but it's not the end of the world if you go just that deep. It didn't go too deep at all. Now opening the DRS again, coming up towards turn 4, the car instantly feels a little bit better than it did in Q1. It just seems a little bit more grippier. In general, it's a little bit less understeery, which is what I felt at the start. Now coming down the hill, Here we've lost the car a bit, and oh, we got up on the curb and we've lost it. We've completely lost the car. That is not ideal at all. There we go, we have to bail the lap, we have to abandon that. And that is really frustrating. We now have to go back into the pits, get a new pair of tyres. And yeah, it's not great. But anyway, we'll get one more attempt at it, but it has to be perfect. So this lap has gone well so far. We're just going to go around the final few corners here. We've got 2 corners left. Now we have 1 corner left. This should see us through to Q3 here. This is the lap that I had to get right, or else I was going to be out of qualifying. But we, I think, are all good as we come across the final corner. Easy on the accelerator. Coming across the line right about now, and there we go. We are good enough for P7, so we'll see you in Q3. And we cross the line for our first lap in Q3. We set a 1:29.5. Wasn't the best lap. I could definitely have got a lot more out of that. There's definitely a good 5 tenths or something to gain out of that. But remember, these are used tyres, because you don't have enough tyres to set a brand new set of tyres for every single session as such. So yeah, next lap. Here we go then, we've just crossed the line and now coming up towards turn 1. Making sure we're a lot earlier on the brakes this time around, which we are, and you could see I said I lost a couple of seconds, but I think, sorry, a couple of tenths of a second, but I think we've lost even more than that the lap before, because we're nearly 4 tenths up here. Jeff tells us more useless information as we go very nice through turn 4 there, as we're pretty much 5 tenths up. We are 5 tenths up in the first sector, losing a bit of time down the hill, but as you can see I've got a nice exit there, and then another decent exit off of here, which kept us at pretty much 5 tenths up. Here, this lap was feeling very good at this point. As through turn 10 was nice and solid again. Got a very nice exit. You could see just the delta at the top right going mad as we go all the way up to 7.5 tenths up on my previous best lap time. This was feeling like a great lap. Just had to keep it under control. Yeah, it's exactly what I was trying to do. This then came down here. Wasn't quite the best I've taken out, went a little bit wide, but you can see that Hamilton behind us is almost pushing us along here. We're kind of getting right in his way, but I was just thinking, I was praying that he didn't try and dive down our inside or whatever to try and get past us, which luckily he didn't. And we ended up going 8 tenths quicker than our previous best lap time, which was good enough for 7th in qualifying here. It was a good lap time. Could have maybe got more out of it, but I think it was good. And yeah.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Hamilton, Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
And I will see you tomorrow then.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the Iceman. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and, of course, little tolerance for mistakes.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience. But some of these guys in Formula 1 have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Iceman, Perez, Ricciardo and Roman Grosjean, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Nico Hülkenberg and Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Here we go then, to 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Round 2, we are underway. It's been an underwhelming getaway, but it's not been too bad here, as we're pretty much side by side with both of the Red Bulls here. Albon on the far and inside. We've dived all the way around the outside here. We have got past Albon, maybe, but we make contact there with that Red Bull and we make it through. A little bit of a scruffy way to do it, but we have made it through. And now up into P6 as we start to chase down Verstappen, but chances are he's going to start to pull away from us. Here we go then, as we continue on. Here we go then, at the end of lap 1 here. Hamilton is in the lead, but that really doesn't matter right now. We have to defend from Alex Albon here. He's coming flying up our inside here. He's got a lot of speed. We go early on the brakes. We go for the old switcheroo on him here. He's now trying to go around the outside. He actually lifts off and brakes, and that's going to be easy enough for us to keep P6. Here, he's not going to be able to fight us back here. Even with DRS, actually that's a lie, DRS is not enabled yet. DRS is enabled on lap 3, we're now on lap 2, but with the slipstream, there we go, that's good enough. Here's we're starting to lose out to Verstappen, who's getting further and further ahead right now, which is not ideal. Going at the end of lap 2, now DRS is enabled for the start of lap 3, as Alex Albon is quite near to us. We go nice and early on the brakes, looking for a good exit down towards the DRS straight. I think we have got one as well, as here we go, ploughing down the straight here. I don't think, no, he's not close enough to us here, so we keep the lead for the first 3 laps on Albon here, staying in P6, which is 1 position up from where we started. So at the moment this is good, as we're just losing the car a bit down the hill, but we just about had it under control the whole way. As moving down towards turn, nice and hard on the brakes, but make sure not too hard. Got to keep the car in one place. So now moving on to the end of lap 3, we haven't had the best run through the final 2 corners, and Albon's right on our tail here. We're in overtake mode. We're on Rich. Have to stay in front of him here. We're not going to be able to do that. He goes down the inside of us. We're trying to defend it round the outside. We've actually done that here, and we keep the position, but he's still right there, and he might want to have a, he might fancy a go down here into turn 4 here, but we are not going to let him do that. He was too far back anyway. And it's going down the hill we go. Very easy to lose the car, as you would have seen in qualifying, but we are absolutely fine as of now. See, we go down into turn 10 again. Gone very wide, that's what I'm saying. It's very easy to mess that up. Jeff switching on about tyres. You can see the Albon behind us through that whole sector is just quicker than us in general. We have been in none DRS, but we've got a new strategy option here, and he wants us to pit 1 lap early, so he's obviously seeing that the tyres are a little bit dead, and we're going to do that. We are 2 stopping this race, but we're going to pit 1 lap earlier on lap 6, so we've got 2 more laps on these soft tyres, and I think we've got 2 more stops. Both will be stopping for the medium tyres, and it should go to the end of the race, but we have to go defensive here on Alex Albon as we go a little bit deep, but if just as long as we get a good exit through here, we should be fine going down the next straight, and indeed we are fine. Alex Albon is too far back for now. And 2 laps later we have dived into the pits, to get that change of tyre.
Release.
As off we go on our merry way on the new medium tyres here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Now 3 laps later, you can see Verstappen is being held up by the Williams of George Russell in front, and that has allowed us to close right up to the back of him, although he is on the soft compounder tyres, which should be a lot quicker than ours. But here we go then. Going to go into rich mix and overtake. But I still think we're a little bit too far back as of yet to start thinking about a pass even down the next main straight, but as we plough on through here, through the fast flat out right hander, hard on the brakes, lift off, get a nice exit, which didn't quite get it, went a little bit wide, but we're okay because Verstappen is being held to a Williams pace, which is good for us. Let's go through the final corner. We've got a nice run actually, and now with DRS and overtake mode and rich mode and slipstream, we see what we can do. Here we go then. Way too far back still though, but on the brakes we are actually right up the gearbox of Verstappen here. And now perhaps down into turn 4 we might be able to have a look, but Verstappen has still got DRS and slipstream from Leclerc. We're trying to dive around his outside. We've gone late enough on the brakes to do so, but he has a far better exit than us. And so we're just going to chill past him, sorry, chill behind him, going into here, which we've made an absolute hash of. As we fly down the hill, up towards, oh, down towards, should I say, turn 10. A little bit late on the brakes again compared to what I might have liked, but we're okay. We're just going to chill behind him for now and wait for something to happen really, because, well, we're just going to stay behind him and wait for the main straight. So here we go, again through the fast right. We've got Alex Albon behind us here. He's actually caught up to us quite a bit, and just behind him is the racing point of what I presume is Perez here. So we're just going to watch the back of Verstappen for a while longer, but if you look, Albon's actually right next to us here, so we have to be careful. We have to get a great exit through here. We're actually very low on the brake, almost go around the outside of Verstappen without even meaning to. That Williams really holding him up, and he still hasn't come into the pits as Russell, so it's going to do us a favour here as he's trying to overtake Charles Leclerc. Russell's done it, he's got past Charles Leclerc, and we dive around the outside of Verstappen, who had to brake early as a result, and we're past that Red Bull car with a nice move. Actually, this is some great, we've had a brilliant exit. We're past Russell as well, maybe even Leclerc. Can we think about it? Down the inside of Leclerc for 3 cars and 3 corners, but not quite, as we're stuck behind Leclerc just a little bit longer here. As well, I'm not sure if we are going to catch him, especially now that he has got clean air, but we have done amazing to almost have nearly overtaken him in the first place really. And we've got past Verstappen and Russell. He really just didn't hold us up, he really helped us. So anyway, this has been going well. We're going to have a little bit clean air once Leclerc goes by. We just have to try and keep the Red Bull behind us here, which I think we probably will, because we're going to be pitting soon. But actually, here we go again. Giovinazzi has held Leclerc up massively. We're going down the inside of both of them here. Can we make it for the double overtake? We touch with Leclerc. We've just checked for damage. We don't have any. And then around the outside of Leclerc, we've done it. Maybe having a little run with the stewards there for track limits. But everything is fine. And now Giovinazzi's absolutely sent it on us, but he's been held back. And Leclerc's actually going to be fighting him here because Giovinazzi had a poor run. Anyway, we're up into 7th with Gasly in front of us here, and this has gone very nicely for us indeed, with a beautiful double overtake there. But anyway, later on, here we go, down the straight. We're an absolute sitting duck. We're just going to chill in lead and none, because we are not keeping up with that Ferrari. Here, we've actually got very loud. Oh my goodness, we've almost ploughed into the back of Leclerc. I had a heart attack there for a minute. But we are absolutely fine. And that'll be that. I don't think that we're going to be catching him. I don't think Verstappen's going to catch us. So we're going to have a bit of clean air for a while. As we have now jumped in for our second pit stop here, lap 18. So we're going to have to put these mediums on for 11 laps. An issue. It's coming out of the pits now. We actually could be very close, just looking on the minimap, to our teammate Carlos Sainz, who's 1 stopping and we're 2 stopping in this race here. And we are going to be very close to him. Are we out in front of him? I think we just about are. Here we go, on the brakes. We've actually got a bit deep here. Is that going to cost us? I don't think so, as we're out in front of Carlos Sainz, and hopefully we can start to pull away from him now. Again, track limits through turn 3 a little bit exploited, but it hasn't really gained us anything, so I think we're absolutely fine as far as that is concerned. So here on lap 18, we're in P9, and certainly want to be chasing down that Renault and getting past him as soon as we possibly can. And Leclerc in the last lap has just come out in front of us, but he's got Nico Hulkenberg right in front of him. Leclerc is on the hard compound of tyres here, which should be slower than ours. That could give us a good opportunity as Leclerc dives down the inside of Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg also on the hard tyres, but his tyres are going to be quite old, and we should be able to get past him here. We've had a good run. Leclerc obviously overtaking him will help us to get past him. It's been a pretty good lap for us in general, to be honest though. I was just going to chill behind him for now and hopefully get past him on the down the straight. It shouldn't be the hardest manoeuvre in the world, but we'll see. As getting the power down into overtake and rich mix, DRS and slipstream here. It should just be a cruise past Nico Hulkenberg, and that's exactly what it is. We're going about 10 mile an hour quicker, maybe more, and that is us up into P6 and chasing down Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, because I reckon we might be able to get him because we do have the tyre advantage, and for now we have the DRS advantage as well. It's been a thrilling race so far. I just hope that we can get up into P5 in this race, and that would be the goal at the moment. As moving on now to lap 21, and we have caught up to Leclerc. We're right up to the back of him here as we go through towards turn 10. On the brakes we go. It's nice and solid through there. Nice exit as well. A little bit of the back end goes, but come on, we can get him here. Not here, but maybe down the main straight. It depends if this Renault engine is going to want to allow us to do that here. We will have DRS, we will definitely have slipstream, we have plenty of ERS to play with. There's plenty at our disposal here as on the brakes we go. We have to get a good exit out of here onto this straight, and that's exactly what we get now. We're right on the back of that Ferrari, down the main straight. I reckon we could have him here. As on the brake, this has to be a good final corner. We go very wide, but it's, yeah, we've made a bit of a mess there, and now I think we could be too far back to make the move. But look how effective this DRS slipstream overtaken rich mix fuel is. But actually we're going for it. We have gained him enough around the outside of Charles Leclerc. I reckon we could have him here. Leclerc defends here. We have to give him the space to the outside, as we are still going to be there. We've got past him, but he's going to have the DRS. No one's got the DRS actually. It must have been so similar. But he's diving. He's absolutely dived down my inside. I have to take a little bit of evasive action to avoid him here. As I come down here, we are side by side. This is not the ideal place to be. He's going to have the upper hand, but we've had a better run through the final part of it. We're going to try and dive it round the outside. It's going to be working for now, as we're going to have Leclerc on our tail here, going down towards turn 10. We have the inside line. This is awkward here. Leclerc goes out wide. We have the inside line here, but Leclerc's actually had a very good exit. But I think that we're just about going to be ahead of him. We do have the DRS, and we had a slightly better exit than him in general, and we are past Leclerc. But something tells me that that will not be the last battle. It will be for lap 22, but on lap 23 I reckon the story could repeat here, because we're going at a very similar speed. Especially seems my tyres are degrading more and more each lap, especially compared to his, because he is on the hard tyres which do not wear as quickly as these medium tyres. But anyway, as we come through the final corner, here. We've had a slightly, yeah, it's not been the best exit. We try and break the slipstream up to the right hand side here, but Leclerc is gaining on us here. I don't think there's much we can do. We're going to just move over. We're going to let him have the inside line going into the corner here as we try and go late on the brakes here. We've got up on the curb, we've almost gone too wide. Leclerc's locked his front left here as we come through. We have to give him all the space in the world because otherwise we would have crashed. And here we go, and we're side by side. There is less than a metre between the cars as we've got the DRS and we're in front of Leclerc. But again, is he going to dive it? Is he going to dive it? He is going to dive it. And we're going to be side by side for the second lap in a row. Here's the edge at the moment. Here's the inside line. We're going to swoop it around the outside. This is some great racing here as Leclerc does finally get past us. But again, we're going late on the brakes. Have we got past this time? We've had an absolute flyer of an exit. We're still side by side. Leclerc is actually just about got ahead of us here. He is up into P5. But I certainly feel like I am not out of this yet as we've got overtake and rich mix going. Yeah, I reckon that if we can just have a nice solid final sector, we will still be able to stay in front of this Ferrari. But I just need to also make sure that my tyres do not fall away from me as I'm just quickly checking there. They're not too bad at the moment, but we just need to be careful. We would not want to end this race by crashing because my tyres have just disappeared from underneath me. But that is besides the point right now. We still have a job to do, and that is get past this Ferrari. As we're still in P6, and if you look behind, Sainz is also up in a P7, so it's a strong showing from the McLaren team at the moment. But here we go, look at this extra speed we have. We are absolutely flying down the straight. Jeff's telling me to turn down my ERS, but what he doesn't realise is I'm going round the outside of Leclerc at the moment, and we've actually had a great run, and we're up. That is us up into 5th place, and that is just what we wanted to see. And we have the DRS as well, so we should be able to stay in front here. But you can never count this Ferrari out, especially down through here, because that Ferrari car is very strong through this area of the track. As you can see, we've lost the car and we're going to go a bit wide. We have to lift off of the throttle as flying down here. I think we're finally not going to be side by side into turn 10, or at least sort of near side by side. We run a little bit wide. That's going to lose us some time. That's lost us our advantage on Leclerc, but we've actually had a good exit, and hopefully we will stay in front of him for the foreseeable future. We'll just have to see here. But as my tyres degrade, I reckon he could catch up to us again, because he's not that far behind. As yes, I was right here on lap 25. Leclerc with the slipstream and DRS is still right on our tail here, as we have to be getting everything out of this 0.3 extra laps of fuel and this 10% roughly battery. We have to make the most of it as we're none and lean through here, trying to save as much as we can, because we know that he can't overtake down this hill unless he does some heroic move. But it probably end up with us both being out of this race. As here we go then, have to get a great run down towards turn 10. We actually have a big lead on Leclerc, can't be messing this up, and we have messed it up. We've gone awfully wide, that's lost us everything. We had a decent gap to him, but now look at this, he's right on our tail. We're just doing a typical driver excuse. We look at our tyres, everything is fine on the tyres. We've just made a typical driver error here. We have to get a good run, which we do. We're in none ERS. We try to save as much as we can for the main straight, because we know that we've got some defending to do, because Leclerc is absolutely flying behind us now that my tyres are starting to disappear. And the hard tyres do start to get almost better once they wear, which is probably helping Leclerc right now, because he seemed to have picked up his pace a lot. And yes, I did make that mistake, but I reckon this is going to be a struggle down the straight here. And here comes Charles Leclerc on us here. Can he make the move? He goes past us here, and now here he goes, cruising his way past us here. Not much we could do, and we actually nearly run into the back of him here, but we were fine. And then it's a shame he has got past us, but we've still got the DRS going down towards turn 4. But I don't think I can keep up with him. He's been a lot quicker these last sort of 3-4 laps, and it was a great fight, but I think we're going to have to give this one up. As here we go down the hill. This is where the dirty air from the car in front absolutely kills. You can see we just can't turn this car without losing the back end. It's hard on the brakes. We've taken this nice, get a decent exit. So we're chasing down Leclerc, but he's just got about 10 car lengths between us here, and that is enough. And as we've run wide again there, these tyres just don't want to slow down as they gradually start to degrade, and we know that we are not in this fight anymore, which is a shame. It's now on to the last lap of the race. Vettel has won the Grand Prix for Ferrari. We've got one Ferrari battling us, one winning the Grand Prix, set the fastest lap as well. That is as much as he can ask for. Oh no, but he doesn't get that extra point. Lewis Hamilton steals it from him here, as we just had a bit of a lonely final few laps here with Leclerc riding off his distance. My teammate Carlos Sainz to come home in P7. Verstappen had an engine failure, which he will definitely not be happy about here as we come round the final quarter. It's been P5 in Australia, P6 here in Bahrain, which is a very good result here. I'm very happy with it. And we cross the line as P6.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, it's got to be Kevin Magnussen. He displayed exceptional skill out on the track today and wasn't afraid to fight his way through the pack.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
Indeed, Jeff. It was a good weekend. Can we just appreciate Kevin Magnussen in P4? Very good race, and now we're going to select our rival here. Listen to what Emma has to say.
Rival is always your teammate, but you can choose who to declare as your second. The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more respect you stand to gain or lose depending on the result. Here you can see a list.
Here we go then, here it is. We've got Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Kevin Magnussen, Alex Albon or Sergio Perez. And I know they're all fairly respectable. Leclerc is obviously the best, and then Verstappen's still going to be hard to beat. I think the one that's probably going to be the closest to me throughout the whole season, who we're going to be challenging the championship, is Alex Albon. So that's who we are going to select here in this rivalry. So we've got our teammate Carlos Sainz and then Alexander Albon as our two rivals. But now into the R&D tree, we're going to just try and upgrade our durability as much as we can. So we're going to do our gearbox, our ICE, which I think we're going to do here. Here we go. And we've also just done our MGUH. And I think that's all we really have to do for now. And let's just save up the rest of these points and keep on upgrading this durability and the powertrain, because I think that would be key. He wants us to upgrade the chassis, but I'll just save up these R&D points, because we can't, if you look, we can't actually upgrade anything yet, which is a shame. But anyway, that will mark the end of the video. If you guys have enjoyed, please remember to smash the hell out of the like button to help me out. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you next time.